On May 8th, 3 new West Side neighborhoods are finally plugging in to the D line. And if you look at a map, it seems like the ultimate late-night perk. Every single station on this route has a 24-hour convenience store right nearby. This chart shows exactly where that perk hits a wall. The top bar is your destination. The stores themselves are open all day and all night. But the bottom bar is your ride. The train itself locks its doors at midnight. So if you want to ride the rails to grab a late-night snack, you are working within a strict window. Between 5 a.m. and midnight, you have a choice to make. After midnight, the train isn't an option. Inside that operating window, when does it actually make mathematical sense to swipe your card and ride, and when should you just walk to your neighborhood store? To figure that out, we have to split your priorities. You are either trying to minimize the minutes on your watch, or you are trying to minimize the physical effort it takes to get there. We ran the math for every stop. For the walking route, we took the straight line distance and added a 15% buffer for real-world realities like crosswalks. For the transit route, we calculated your average wait time on the platform, plus 2 minutes of travel time for every station passed. This math means every rail trip starts with a time debt. Whether the speed of the train can actually pay that debt back depends entirely on which station you call home. To understand the route, you have to know your targets. There are exactly 2 stations on the D line where the store is practically waiting for you at the exit turnstile. The undisputed anchor is 7th Street and Metro Center downtown. You walk up the stairs, and a reliable 24-hour store is a 2-minute stroll from the platform. The runner-up is Wilshire and Normandie. Here, your destination is just 1 block east, about a 3-minute walk once you surface. But if you are cutting it close, be careful with Normandie. That specific store periodically shuts down between 2 a.m. and 4 a.m. for deep cleaning. 7th and Metro Center is your safest, zero-effort bet. From anywhere else on the map, your options are either to walk locally or ride to one of these 2 anchors. Let's apply that choice to the western edge of the line. On May 8th, La Cienega, Fairfax, and La Brea officially open for business. Their closest zero-effort anchor is Normandie. Heading east, La Brea is a 2-stop ride. Fairfax is 3, and the new terminus at La Cienega is 4 stops away. This split-screen chart shows the math. At La Cienega, a local walk takes 6 minutes. Waiting and riding to Normandie takes 17 minutes. Walking wins. At La Brea, the result is identical, a 7-minute walk versus a 13-minute ride. Even at Fairfax, a 12-minute local walk still edges out a 15-minute train ride. Choosing to ride from any of these 3 stations means you are voluntarily paying a comfort tax. You are extending your trip duration strictly to get air conditioning and a place to sit. For the residents of this brand new extension, putting a train in your neighborhood provides a great option to sit down, but it is an objective loss if you are racing the clock. On the opposite side of the map, the downtown corridor runs west from Union Station. If you start at Union Station, Civic Center, or Pershing Square, your fastest option is always your own 2 feet. The local neighborhood walks consistently clock in under the transit time to the 7th and Metro anchor. But there is one anomaly on the entire map where the train actually outpaces walking. That happens at Westlake and MacArthur Park. Look at these timers. A trip to the local store on foot takes 11 minutes. Tapping in and taking the train to 7th and Metro takes 10. It is a margin of 60 seconds, but it's the only moment on the D line where transit claims a genuine speed advantage, even with a 15% buffer added to the pedestrian route. Unless you are standing directly on the MacArthur Park platform, your default strategy for a fast trip downtown must be walking. All the math we just covered assumes you are traveling during the day. As the sun sets, the network's efficiency drops. After about 9 p.m., Metro scales back service. Trains arrive every 20 minutes instead of every 12. That schedule adjustment creates a night owl tax. Statistically, it adds a flat 4 minutes to your average wait time on an empty platform. That completely changes your math. From Fairfax, a transit run that takes 15 minutes at noon will take 19 minutes at midnight. Meanwhile, the distance to your neighborhood store never changes. A 12-minute walk takes 12 minutes, regardless of the hour. Attempting to use the train after 9 p.m. guarantees a significant efficiency penalty. It becomes an option exclusively for those who want to avoid physical exertion at all costs. Here is how all of those variables compile into a single table. This matrix plots the local walk times against both daytime and late-night metro times. As you can see, the local walk dominates. For 10 out of the 11 stations on the D line, staying above ground gets you there faster. The single green exception is MacArthur Park, holding on to its 1-minute daytime advantage. And when you look at the late-night column, the math gets entirely lopsided. That 4-minute penalty pushes transit out of contention everywhere. Pause here and find your neighborhood to see exactly what your trade-off looks like. When you stack the minutes side by side, the data shows that taking the D line to a 7-Eleven is a decision to prioritize physical comfort over the ticking clock. We can simplify all of this into a few actionable rules based on what you actually value. This chart maps your priority against the time of day. If you are an optimizer who just wants to minimize your total trip time, the directive is simple: walk locally. If you don't mind spending an extra 10 minutes to avoid breaking a sweat, bypass your neighborhood entirely and write straight to the 7th and Metro anchor. But remember, this entire decision matrix has an expiration time. At exactly midnight, the option to choose comfort disappears. The May 8th extension successfully puts rail in 3 new neighborhoods, but it doesn't change the basic math. Beat the midnight curfew or be prepared to walk.